So before you end up deciding to go with another company, it is so important that you understand what is it that you are receiving. So I got a call from a customer that I'm currently working with right now, and he got two other prices. We were slightly higher than them, unfortunately. But wait. So before you end up deciding to go with another company, it is so important that you understand what is it that you are receiving. In one of the cases, I was able to point out that he was not getting what he thought that he was getting. So one of the estimates said Echo Window Systems. What does that mean? You're getting a Honda, you're getting a Mercedes, you're getting a Jaguar, Bentley, you're getting this manufacturer, but what model, what series are you getting? Are you getting the lowest? Are you getting the highest? Giant question mark. I can guarantee you that if they don't mention which series you're getting, you're probably getting the lowest series. And when it comes to the manufacturers we work with, sometimes we do recommend the lower series when it's a rental, when it's a commercial property, when it's not that important. However, when we're working with somebody's personal home, we typically, unless they tell us we're looking for the lowest price possible, we're going to go for like the middle range, or we're going to recommend something in the higher range if we're working in a high income community or a community that typically has a high income. I want to say that if you're in one of these premier neighborhoods, you're not looking for the cheapest product. So why would a company recommend that? And if you have a homeowner that doesn't know and understand this stuff and you're offering them the lowest stuff, but they have a really nice house, how does that make any sense? And are you really providing what the customer would want for themselves at the end of the day? You know, how do you build trust? How do you have transparency with something like that? Additionally, when you look through the quote, it lists out the cost per window bucks for every window and door. And in this case, I think they had, maybe 10 windows and 3 doors or something like that. So when you add up those individual line items, that every single door, we're going to charge you X amount, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why not include that in the price? For the most part, there's only one type of opening that does not require bucks, and that is precast. Precast is prevalent in older style homes, something that's typically built in like the 50s to 70s, I want to say. And there's going to be some variance there. But precast is not a super common occurrence. The most common occurrence in South Florida is going to be a CBS block house, which around the CBS block is just hollow block, or we have some filled cells. If you want to know more about filled cells versus hollow block, I'm happy to do a video on that. Let me know in the comments. So whenever you have an opening with CBS block, you're going to have to use bucks. I did another video a while back explaining what wood bucks are. And the thing about wood bucks is that the old windows, the wood bucks are typically cut to size of the window. Now, if your old windows are 1.5 inches and your new windows are 2.5 inches, that means your old bucks that are 1.5 inches are going to have to be replaced. You're not going to put a piece of wood buck that's not up to code. So you'd have to remove the old bucks, install new bucks. So that's like going to the dentist for cleaning and them saying, well, if we're going to use toothpaste on your teeth, we're going to charge you extra. Just charge them for the toothpaste. What are we talking about here? It's going to be required. Are you going to charge me for caulking, for screws separately? No, because it's required as part of the job. Don't get me started. Another thing that this company did not mention on their quote that I'm waiting to hear back is whether or not permitting is included. Now with us, wood bucks are included. Permitting is included. Everything that's included and everything that is not included is written clearly on the quote. The first estimate, we're not waiting until you sign the contract and then we're going to show you all this stuff. As soon as you get an estimate from us, you're going to know what is included, what is not, what is expected, what is not. It should be very clear when you're working with a company. A lot of people don't understand the value of that until they experience what's on the other side of not knowing. When things are left up for translation, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Whoever, we didn't include XYZ. Okay, well, I'm an unassuming homeowner. I thought you had my best interest in mind. I've already paid you. I don't really have a lot of other options. So now I'm kind of stuck in this situation. That's what a lot of companies are actually giving homeowners unknowingly. The second quote was from ESW. Now, ESW has 3 lines. They have the Multi-Max, Elite, and Prestige. Which one do you think that company offered? Multi-Max. Side note, ESW doesn't even like the Multi-Max. ESW Multi-Max is a great product for rentals, for potentially low-income areas, for somebody that just needs protection, but it's not their middle of the road or high-end product. Now, once again, this client is a realtor that has plenty of clients, does have a good income, can support this. His home, his neighborhood supports quality. So once again, just going back to the same thing as the first company, if your window company is not asking you these questions as to what are you looking for, what's important to you, why would you even consider these companies? Your best interests, what you're looking for is not even being considered. So a lot of these companies, they just end up giving the lowest price, not actually asking the homeowner what is important to them. And I think that kills the industry altogether. Also, the second company, I don't think they included permits, and there were a couple other things, but ultimately, both of these companies, their proposal was just, these are your windows, this is your installation, this is your price, zero details, zero contract. You know, and I've seen what this ends up turning into. And what I would say to homeowners is, if the company doesn't make the effort in providing you with these details, what detail do you think is going to be taken on your project when it comes to installing these windows? Remembering that these windows are only as strong as the way that they're installed. I did a whole video talking about the notice of acceptance and kind of how to feel comfortable that your windows are installed right, how to read and interpret these plans to some capacity to make yourself dangerous enough to understand if they're doing the right thing or not, more or less. And I think it could be beneficial for homeowners to look into these things. I think the bigger issue is that if a company is not providing you with these details on the front end, what do you expect for your project on the back end? BigFoot Windows and Roofing, building trust, one window, one door, one roof at a time, tearing apart the competition.